Have you noticed your legs feeling heavier, shakier, or just more tired than they used to? Do stairs suddenly feel steeper? Are you pausing more often during walks, even though nothing in your daily routine has changed? Most people chalk it up to just getting older. But what if those changes in your legs were actually early warning signs of something far more serious? Here's the truth. Weakening legs after 60 isn't just a natural part of aging, it's a signal. A signal that your body may be losing strength, circulation, or vital nutrients that keep you moving, balanced, and independent. If ignored, it could lead to falls, immobility, and a steep decline in your quality of life. But here's the good news. Once you understand the real reasons behind this shift, you can take simple, effective steps to regain your strength and restore confidence in every step you take. In this video, we'll explore the 5 biggest reasons your legs may be getting weaker after 60 and what you can do about each one before it's too late. These tips are backed by science, crafted for healthy aging, and inspired by the everyday wisdom we celebrate here at our channel. If you're ready to walk stronger, live longer, and age wisely like this video, subscribe to the channel and let's begin. 1. Muscle loss and after 60, the hidden thief of strength. Sheila, a warm-spirited 68-year-old grandmother from Oregon, always prided herself on being independent. She wasn't an athlete, but she never had trouble getting around carrying groceries, standing up from her favorite chair, or dancing with her grandkids on Sunday mornings. But lately, something felt off. Her thighs looked smaller, her jeans fit differently around the legs, and even walking to the mailbox left her feeling more winded than it should have. What Sheila was experiencing is something many people face after 60, often without realizing it: muscle loss. Scientifically, it's called sarcopenia, a gradual weakening and shrinking of muscle tissue that accelerates as we age. Though it begins subtly, by the time you're in your 70s or 80s, it can have a powerful grip on your everyday life. In fact, studies show that adults can lose up to 30% of their muscle mass by their 80s if nothing is done to counteract it. The signs are usually easy to miss at first. Thinner legs, especially around the thighs and calves, a heaviness when standing or walking, a fatigue setting in after just a few minutes of movement, and an increasing need to push off with your arms to rise from a seated position. These are not just inconveniences, they are warnings from the body, quiet reminders that strength must be maintained or it will quietly slip away. But here's the heartening truth. Muscle loss is not destiny, it's changeable. With consistent, gentle effort, you can rebuild what time has taken. You don't need to lift heavy weights or join a gym. What you need is simple, intentional movement. Something as humble as slowly standing up and sitting down from a sturdy chair without using your hands can activate key muscle groups. Lifting one leg at a time while seated, holding it straight for a few seconds, reawakens those deep leg muscles that help you balance and stabilize. Resistance bands, if available, add a gentle challenge and are surprisingly effective. Of course, muscles don't rebuild on movement alone. They need nourishment, especially protein. While it's easy to associate protein with athletes or bodybuilders, it's just as essential for seniors. Sheila began incorporating more eggs, beans, yogurt, and grilled salmon into her meals. When her appetite dipped, she'd blend a simple protein shake with almond milk, banana, and a spoonful of peanut butter. Small, sustainable changes like these became a quiet promise to her body: I'm still taking care of you. She also made a habit of walking every morning, even if just around the block. It wasn't about burning calories or tracking steps. It was about staying engaged physically, mentally, emotionally. Every step, every stretch, every bite of a nourishing meal became part of a larger intention: to age not just longer, but stronger. So if you've begun noticing signs like Sheila did, don't ignore them. Don't wait until your legs no longer support you the way they once did. You have the power to change the direction things are heading. Start small, be kind to yourself, but be consistent. Because strength, like wisdom, grows not from big gestures, but from steady daily devotion. Circulation when your legs are trying to tell you something. Tom, a 74-year-old retired postman from Colorado, had spent most of his life on his feet. Rain, snow, or shine, he walked miles every day delivering mail, and in retirement he kept up the habit with daily walks around the neighborhood. But not long ago, he began noticing a strange ache in his calves. It wasn't sharp, just a dull, cramping pain that showed up after only a few minutes of walking and vanished when he sat down. He brushed it off at first, blaming it on aging. But when his feet started feeling colder, even in warm socks, and his legs seemed more tired than usual, something clicked. What Tom didn't realize, and what many others don't either, is that he was experiencing early signs of poor circulation in the legs, a condition medically known as peripheral artery disease, or PAD. It's more common than most people think, especially among older adults. Over time, arteries can become narrowed or hardened by plaque buildup, reducing the amount of oxygen-rich blood flowing to the legs. And when your muscles don't get the oxygen they need, even simple movement becomes a challenge. This kind of circulation issue doesn't just make walking uncomfortable, it can increase the risk of infections, slow healing of minor wounds, and if left unaddressed, lead to serious complications. The early signs are often subtle: aching or cramping in the calves when walking, numbness or tingling in the feet, legs that feel colder than usual, or changes in the color of the skin, often pale or bluish tones. When Tom finally mentioned these symptoms to his doctor, a simple test revealed the problem. But the good news was this: it wasn't too late. With some adjustments to his lifestyle, he could improve his circulation and regain much of the comfort and energy he thought he had lost for good. The first step was to keep walking, but smarter. Instead of pushing himself through long distances, he started taking shorter walks more often throughout the day, resting when the pain came and picking back up once it faded. This pattern, known as interval walking, gently encourages blood vessels to adapt and open up, improving flow over time. He also paid closer attention to hydration, something he had overlooked for years. Drinking enough water, especially in drier mountain climates, helped his blood circulate more efficiently. And with his doctor's guidance, Tom began including more heart-healthy foods in his meals: leafy greens, salmon, walnuts, and a splash of olive oil over roasted vegetables. Most importantly, he stopped ignoring the signs. He realized that the discomfort wasn't just something to endure, it was his body asking for attention. For anyone over 60, especially those with a history of smoking, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol, it's worth checking in with your doctor if you're noticing similar symptoms. PAD is common, but it doesn't have to rob you of your movement or your independence. Tom still walks every morning now, but it's different. He walks with a sense of gratitude each step, a quiet celebration of resilience, of listening to his body, and of refusing to let time dictate his ability to move forward. 3. Vitamin deficiency, the quiet saboteur of strength. Eileen had always been sharp, steady, and remarkably active for her age. At 72, the retired biology teacher still led a weekly garden club, enjoyed hiking the local trails in Vermont, and rarely missed a morning stretch. But over the last few months, something had changed. She started waking up with a dull ache in her knees and calves. She found herself losing balance while trimming the hedges, something that had never happened before. And most puzzling of all, she began experiencing small muscle twitches in her legs, even when she was sitting still. At first, she feared something serious, but after a few simple tests, her doctor revealed something surprisingly common: a deficiency in key vitamins, especially vitamin D, B12, magnesium, and vitamin K, was affecting her nerve and muscle function. It's a truth that often goes overlooked. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing and storing essential nutrients. Even with a relatively healthy diet, older adults are at higher risk for deficiencies that can directly impact muscle strength, balance, and mobility. Vitamin D, for instance, helps regulate calcium for strong bones and muscles, and low levels are linked to fatigue and leg pain. B12 supports the nervous system, and a lack of it can lead to tingling, numbness, and muscle weakness. Magnesium plays a role in muscle contraction and relaxation, and vitamin K supports bone density and vascular health. For Eileen, this information was empowering. Instead of fearing that her body was just wearing down, she realized that her symptoms had a cause and, more importantly, a solution. She began with small adjustments. Mornings now started with a gentle walk in the early sun, allowing her skin to naturally produce more vitamin D. She included more leafy greens like kale and spinach in her lunch salads, and switched from white bread to whole grain for the added magnesium and fiber. Her doctor recommended a simple B-complex supplement and suggested she take it with breakfast to enhance absorption. What surprised Eileen most wasn't how fast she felt better. It was how deeply connected she began to feel to her own body again. Paying attention to what she ate, how she moved, and how she felt wasn't a burden. It was a form of self-respect. She was no longer chasing youth. She was nurturing resilience. If you've experienced unexplained fatigue, leg cramps, instability, or a creeping sense of imbalance, don't just assume it's age. Often it's your body whispering that something is missing. A simple blood test can reveal a lot. And gentle daily choices from sunlight to leafy greens to supplements under medical advice can make a remarkable difference. Because aging wisely isn't about resisting change, it's about responding to it with awareness, care, and confidence. And as Eileen discovered, even something as small as a vitamin can restore the strength to move through life with ease and purpose. 4. Walking isn't enough. The strength you're missing without knowing. Jerry had always taken pride in his walking routine. At 67, he rarely missed a morning stroll around the lake near his home. His neighbors often waved as he passed by, earbuds in, arms swinging, posture upright. As long as I'm walking, he'd tell himself, I'm doing fine. But recently, Jerry noticed that simple tasks like lifting the laundry basket or getting up from a low chair had started to feel more difficult. His legs didn't ache, but they felt less reliable. His balance seemed just a little off. The irony surprised him. He was walking more than ever, yet he felt weaker. Here's what Jerry, like so many others, hadn't been told. Walking is wonderful, but it's not enough. Especially after 60, walking alone doesn't provide the resistance or muscular challenge your body needs to preserve strength and prevent frailty. As we age, sarcopenia, that slow natural decline in muscle mass, doesn't stop just because we stay active. In fact, walking, though excellent for the heart and mood, mostly engages the lower legs and cardiovascular system. It doesn't significantly work the glutes, quads, or core muscles responsible for balance and lifting. And without targeted strength-building movement, those muscles quietly fade. That's what Jerry was experiencing. He was moving, yes, but not building. His foundation was eroding beneath the surface. The shift began when a friend invited him to a gentle strength class at the local senior center. No loud music, no jumping, no pressure, just slow, controlled movement using resistance bands and body weight. Jerry was skeptical at first, but after just a few weeks, something shifted. He noticed he could rise from the couch more smoothly, his knees didn't wobble on stairs, and he even caught himself balancing on one foot without thinking. The exercises weren't extreme, some he could do while brushing his teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil. He also began to understand that strength isn't about lifting heavy things, it's about lifting yourself confidently, again and again. Building muscle didn't mean building bulk, it meant restoring trust in his own body. If you've relied solely on walking to stay active, it's not a failure, it's a great start. But your body needs more than steps to stay strong. Try standing up and sitting down slowly without using your hands. Hold a light can in each hand and press upward gently. Do a few heel raises while brushing your teeth. It doesn't take long. What matters is consistency. And most of all, give yourself permission to evolve. Walking might have been enough before, but now it's time to add strength to your stride. As Jerry likes to say now, I still take my walk, but I finish it standing taller. 5. When medicine weakens you, the side effect hiding in your legs. Sandra never missed a dose. At 76, she had a shelf of carefully labeled pill organizers, one for blood pressure, one for cholesterol, one for joint pain, and a few supplements her doctor had recommended. She was meticulous, following every instruction, every schedule. But despite doing everything right, she was starting to feel off. Her legs, once steady, now felt strange beneath her. Some days she described them as heavy, like wading through water. Other times they were tingly, even numb. She'd nearly stumbled twice while walking to the mailbox, and once she caught herself against the kitchen counter, heart racing with the realization she didn't feel safe on her feet anymore. What Sandra didn't know, what many don't, is that certain medications, though essential, can quietly affect nerve signals, muscle coordination, and blood flow. Over time, these side effects may lead to weakness, imbalance, or even increased risk of falls. Common culprits include medications for high blood pressure, cholesterol-lowering statins, sedatives, and some antidepressants. While these drugs serve a crucial purpose, they can also interfere with how your muscles contract, how your nerves communicate, and how well your legs respond to daily movement. For Sandra, the turning point came not from stopping her medications, but from having an honest conversation with her doctor. Together, they reviewed her prescriptions and found that one of the medications, while effective for its intended purpose, had a known side effect of muscle weakness in older adults. Her doctor adjusted the dosage and recommended a safer alternative. Within weeks, Sandra felt steadier. Not perfect, but better. She also added gentle daily stretching to her morning routine, giving her joints and muscles a better start to the day. On her doctor's advice, she began a short course of physical therapy, not just to regain strength, but to rebuild trust in her legs. The therapist showed her how to do balance exercises safely, even in the kitchen, using the countertop as support. The biggest shift wasn't just physical, it was emotional. Sandra stopped blaming herself. She realized that what she was experiencing wasn't failure or frailty, it was chemistry. And chemistry could be adjusted. If you've been feeling unsteady, weak, or disconnected from your legs, especially if the changes came on slowly or without clear cause, it may be time to review your medications. Don't stop them suddenly, but do bring your concerns to a trusted healthcare provider. Ask whether your prescriptions could be contributing to what you're feeling and what alternatives might exist. Aging wisely doesn't mean rejecting modern medicine. It means partnering with it, asking questions, and honoring what your body is trying to tell you. Sandra still organizes her pills every Sunday evening, but now she does so with confidence, knowing that her legs are no longer bearing the silent weight of a side effect she never saw coming. Your legs have carried you through decades of life, through morning routines and midnight emergencies, through the births of children, the loss of loved ones, the quiet triumphs of ordinary days. They've stood for you sometimes when you didn't think you could stand at all. And if lately they've begun to feel a little weaker, a little slower, that doesn't mean they've given up. It means they're asking for support, not surrender. Whether it's muscle loss, poor circulation, a hidden vitamin deficiency, a lack of strength training, or the side effects of necessary medications. Each of these challenges is not a full stop. It's a comma, a moment to pause, listen to your body, and begin again with intention, with wisdom, and with compassion. Because aging isn't just about time passing, it's about how we meet that time. With knowledge, with curiosity, with quiet strength. At our channel, we believe your later years are not about decline, but refinement, a deepening of awareness, a reclaiming of choice. And your legs, your beautiful, capable, experienced legs are still very much a part of that journey. If any part of today's message resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What changes have you noticed in your legs after 60? What's helped you feel steadier, stronger, more confident? Share your story. You never know who might feel less alone because of your words. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing it with someone who may need to hear this today. You're not walking this path alone. And the best part, every step forward still counts.